So question 3 says, bacteria can be genetically modified to produce human proteins. Draw one straight line from each bacterial structure to its function. Right, the question says one line. Lots and lots of people drew more than one line. You will get 0 marks then. You have to read the question. The flagellum is used for movement. It's like a sort of tail-like structure. And a ribosome is for making proteins, the same as a plant or an animal cell. The question goes on then to say, human growth hormone can be used as a medical treatment. Before 1980, human growth hormone was extracted from the pituitary glands of humans after they had died. Since 1980, human growth hormone can be produced by bacteria that have been genetically modified. Describe the advantages of producing human growth hormone using genetically modified bacteria. So it's worth 2 marks, so ideally you need to say 2 advantages there. The first thing is bacteria reproduce really rapidly, so you can quickly produce lots of human growth hormone, so we can produce lots of it, or produce it faster. Also, there's less chance of contamination using the genetically modified version over extracting it from the pituitary glands of people who had died. Question then goes on to show a percentile growth chart for the height of girls aged 2 to 20 and asks you which girl is most likely needed to be treated with human growth hormone. So if you require human growth hormone, that's because you're not growing enough as you should be. So you need to look at which child is going to be falling outside of the percentiles here. So we've got a 7-year-old who's 125, should be about there, so they're falling within the percentiles here, that's fine. A 9-year-old who is 135, they'd be okay. A 10-year-old who'd be 145, they'd be okay. And then a 12-year-old who's 128, you can see would be falling outside of the 5th percentile, so it would be D. A 12-year-old who's 128 centimetres tall. Question goes on to show you a sperm cell and explain the role of structure Z in fertilization. So at the sort of head of the sperm, lots of people thought that this guides the sperm to the egg. It does not. Structure Z is an acrosome, which is a type of enzyme that digests the cell membrane of the egg cell. So that the sperm can burrow inside the egg for fertilization. Question goes on then to say that sperm cells have a haploid nucleus. Explain how a cell with a diploid nucleus can produce cells that have a haploid nucleus. So sperm and egg cells are haploid because they have half the number of chromosomes. They have only 23, rather than body cells, which are diploid, have 46. So haploid cells are produced by meiosis. Be careful with your spelling here so it doesn't look like you're saying mitosis, it's meiosis. Meiosis produces 4 genetically different, so that's important, haploid cells from one diploid cell. So meiosis will always produce 4 different haploid cells.